The air inside the briefing room turned cold the moment she said it. Phantom 7. Every Marine, every officer, every soul in that room stopped breathing for a heartbeat. Even Colonel Reeves, the man who had led battalions through fire and storm, froze mid-sentence, eyes wide, as if the ghost of the past had just walked in wearing flight wings and a calm smile. Before we dive into this powerful and emotional true story of courage, loss, and redemption, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe to Legend Off History. Tell us in the comments where you're watching from. We love seeing our Legends family from all around the world. Now sit back, because what you're about to hear will stay with you long after the screen fades to black. No one had expected her to walk in that day. The young pilot, Lieutenant Mira Hayes, wasn't supposed to be in that debriefing at all. She was a transfer, new to the squadron, quiet and sharp-eyed, the kind of soldier who carried her past like a shadow you could never quite see. When she introduced herself to the Marine leadership, her voice was steady, but something in her tone made the room go still. She ended her sentence with, "Formerly of Phantom Squadron, call sign Phantom 7. Colonel Reeves, the battle-hardened Marine who had survived more tours than most could dream of, dropped his pen. His jaw tightened. Those words of Phantom 7 weren't just a call sign. They were a legend, whispered in hangars, carried in radio silence, marked in a memorial that no one dared to touch for years, because Phantom Squadron had died, all 7. Or so everyone thought. The colonel rose from his chair slowly, his eyes never leaving hers. "Repeat that," he said. The room was silent. Even the hum of the air conditioning sounded like thunder. Mira didn't blink. "Phantom 7, sir." She didn't explain. She didn't smile. And in that silence, every Marine in that room could feel it. Something impossible was standing right in front of them. Reeves took a shaky breath and dismissed the room. "Everyone out," he ordered. When the door shut, he turned toward her. That squadron was lost over Kandahar. No one made it out. "We buried 7 names." She stood still, her eyes distant. "You buried 6, sir." That was the moment his composure broke. He sat back in his chair, his face pale. "You're telling me you—" "Yes, sir," she interrupted softly. "I'm the one they couldn't find." Years ago, the Phantom Squadron had been dispatched on a rescue operation deep in hostile territory. A storm of enemy fire and a systems failure sent their aircraft spiraling into the mountains. No signals, no remains, no survivors. The squadron was declared KIA, their call signs retired, their story sealed. But Mira, she had lived. Barely. She told him the truth she had carried in silence for years. She had ejected moments before impact, the parachute shredded by shrapnel, the cold night swallowing her whole. For 3 days she crawled through enemy terrain, bleeding, burned, hunted. A local shepherd found her, half dead, and hid her from insurgents at the cost of his own life. It took her weeks to reach a friendly outpost, months to recover, and years to come back to the skies. But when she returned, the military told her she was officially deceased. Phantom 7 was a ghost on record. So she stayed that way. A ghost. A pilot without a name, training others under classified programs, flying missions that never existed on paper. The legend of Phantom 7 became more myth than memory. The pilot who never missed, who flew through storms that grounded everyone else, who appeared and vanished like a shadow over the desert. Until that day, when she finally stood before Colonel Reeves and spoke the truth. He couldn't hold back the tears. "Why didn't you come home?" he asked. She smiled faintly. "Home buried me, sir. I couldn't take that from the men who died for me. I didn't deserve to come back. Not until I could make their call signs mean something again." It wasn't guilt that kept her silent, it was loyalty. Every flight, every mission, she flew with their voices in her headset, their names written inside her helmet. Phantom 1 through 6. She carried them with her through every cloud. Colonel Reeves stood and saluted her, something a senior rarely did to a junior. But in that moment, ranks didn't matter. "You don't owe anyone forgiveness, Lieutenant. You kept their legacy alive." She shook her head. "No, sir. I'm here to finish their mission." And she did. Over the following months, Mira led an aerial rescue operation that would become one of the most daring in recent military history. Under the call sign Phantom 7, she guided her team through zero visibility, with enemy radars locked, and brought every man home. Her name was still missing from official records, but among those who flew with her, they called her the ghost who saved the living. When the mission ended, Reeves made sure her real story was told. The truth of Phantom Squadron, and the woman who refused to let their legacy die, was finally declassified. The Marines gathered one final time. They reinstated her name on the roster, and beneath it the 6 who never returned. As she stood before their memorial, the colonel whispered, "Welcome home, Phantom 7. She placed her flight helmet beneath the engraved names, saluted, and said, "They were never gone, sir. They just fly higher now." The legend of Phantom 7 became more than a ghost story. It became a reminder that some heroes never die and some call signs don't fade. They echo in every mission, every heart, every sky touched by courage. If this story touched your heart, make sure you hit that like button. Share this video with someone who believes in sacrifice and honor, and comment your thoughts below. Tell us where you're watching from. Our Legends family is growing every day across the world. And don't forget to subscribe to Legend Off History for more powerful true stories of bravery, mystery, and the human spirit that refuses to be forgotten. Because legends never really die.